Hello, children. How are you? I hope you're all doing fine. So, it's been a long time since I last spoke to you. And today, in this video, we discuss the fourth chapter of your textbook Tribals, Dicus, and the Vision of a Golden Age. So, in your seventh class, we talked about tribal societies in the medieval period. We talked about various tribal people, some tribal leaders, their customs, and how they are connected to the Mughal rule. Okay, so in this chapter, we talk about what happened to these tribal people during the British rule. So, did the British rule benefit the tribal societies or did it harm their way of living? That we study in this chapter. Okay, uh, so look at this. You can easily identify that these are tribal people. So, whom do you call tribal people? Generally, we use the word tribals with people who live mostly in forests. So, these people are forest people. You can say they live in forests. Their livelihood is forest, and their customs, their culture, everything is centered around forests. And also, they are very simple people. So, they live very close to nature, and uh, we find tribal people even today there are various parts of the country where we find tribal people still living uh, on forests, still enjoying a very simple lifestyle. So let us see what happened to these tribal societies. Okay, so how did they live? So I'm saying that tribal people are mostly forest people. And how did they live? So let us look at this. So some of them were jhum cultivators. So they practiced one form of cultivation that is called jhum cultivation. I think we already discussed this in our 7th class. So it means it is also known as shifting cultivation. So what they do is they take a piece of land in the forest, then they cultivate it, and after getting one or two crops, they leave that land and move on to another field. Okay, so they do not remain in one place. They keep on moving from one place to another place. They clear forests here and there, and then burn it. Then they uh, they scatter seeds. Then they cultivate that land for some time, and once it loses its fertility, they just move on to another place. Normally, we don't do this kind of cultivation in our region. We stick to one land, and we add pesticides, we add fertilizers and all that, and we want to make our land fertile by various means. Whereas tribal people don't do that, especially these jhum cultivators. They move from one place to another place. Okay, so we find this kind of cultivation in hilly areas, mostly in hilly areas. Nowadays, this is not very common. Okay, and so that is one way of living for tribal people. And then we have another way of living. So many people are hunters and gatherers. So what does it mean? So they hunt animals for meat, and they gather various food products. Okay, so for example, if you look at cones, okay, they actually they collect, they go on collective hunts. That means they go for hunting in groups, and they hunt animals, and they share the meat among themselves. Okay, and also they extract seeds of sal and mahua, and uh, these are used for various purposes. Okay, and not only that, they use it to collect fruits, and they collect medicinal plants. They collect various forest products, mostly things that come from the trees. Okay, and these they use to sell in local markets. So the first way of living is jhum cultivation, and the second way of living is hunting and gathering. Okay, and then so this is a map. I want you to observe this map carefully. So you can see the names of various tribal groups. Okay, you can see Gaddis, Van Gujars in Punjab region, then Bhotia here in Uttarakhand region. So if we go to central India, Baigas, Banjaras and Gonds, and if you come back to our area, you can see Koyas, Banjaras and Gonds. In fact, Koyas you might have seen sometimes. We call them Koyadoras. Okay, and you can in Orissa you can see these Paraja, Bonda, Kanda, Koya, Savara, Khonds, and in central India, in Chhattisgarh, you can see Baigas, Maria, and Gonds. And if you go to northeast, you can see various tribes again: Nagas, Khasis, okay, Apatani, and Nishi, then Rang. Okay, you can see various tribes in various parts of the country. In some areas, you find lots of tribes actually. These are only some of the tribal groups. There are in fact hundreds, if not thousands, of tribal groups all over the country. And these are some of the prominent tribes that we find in India even till date. Okay, so what did they do? What did these tribal people make a live? What did these tribal people do? They did jhum cultivation. Then they collected forest produce such as fruits, then medicinal plants, then seeds, and also they hunted animals. Okay, and they used to even sell these products in local markets. And some people even used to do jobs, or I mean like as laborers in local villages. But some tribes like Baigas, they wouldn't do something like labor. They wouldn't like working for somebody. They believed themselves to be forest people. Okay, so different tribal people have different kind of customs, and depending upon their customs and their outlook, they used to live in different ways. But remember, in every case, the forest is central to their lives. Okay, so what happened to these tribal people? So gradually these tribal people started interacting with the outside society, and they would meet the traders who would buy their product, and who would also give loans and money to these tribal people. And many times these tribal people suffered in the hands of these money lenders. Okay, they used to charge a lot of interest, and tribal people always looked upon these people with distrust. Okay, so some people herded animals. This is another activity of tribal people. What is herding of animals? So they herd animals. That means they keep animals. They take them out. They graze in open fields, and they make a living by selling the milk or the meat, or even the fiber. Okay, that comes from the sheep. Okay, so if you look at the important tribes that live like this, you have Van Gujars, okay, of Punjab hills, and Lambadas of Andhra Pradesh. These are cattle herders. And Gaddis of Kulu were shepherds, and Bakarwals of Kashmir reared goats. So these are different tribal groups, and they lived in different ways. So you can see that they lived on shifting cultivation, they lived on hunting, and then they herded. Some of them herded animals. Okay, then yeah, and sometimes, rarely, they even settled. They even chose settled cultivation, like what many of our farmers do. So they would choose one place, and they start cultivating that area. For example, the Munda tribe of Chota Nagpur. So they used to cultivate as group, as a clan, and the land the instead of having individual right, the land belonged to the whole community, the entire clan. Okay, and they used to cultivate it together and they used to share it. And some of the members of the clan became powerful and they used to have more rights. So this happens very frequently. Okay, and so this is how tribal people led their lives. So the question is, so how did the colonial rule means the British rule, affect the tribal lives? Okay, so before the British came to power, these people enjoyed more rights. They were very free to roam around in the forests, and generally the emperors, the Muslim emperors or other emperors, other kings, they never interfered much in their activities. After Britishers came to power, they started interfering with the lives of these tribal people, because the British people realized that the forests are rich sources of very valuable products like timber, then medicinal plants, fruits. So they saw a lot of economic potential in the forests, and they restricted the movement of these tribes. They curtailed or reduced the rights of these tribal people, and they put so many restrictions or so many conditions on the free movement of these tribal people. Okay, so tribal people were also affected because of the British rule. Let us see. So this is a picture of tribal people. Here they are doing regular cultivation. Here they are doing some. Here also they are doing some agricultural work. Okay, they are cultivating in a forest in Gujarat. So these are actually Bhil. They belong to Bhil clan. Here you can see tribal workers in a rice field in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Okay, so let us see how these people were affected by the British rule. So forest laws. So one important thing that happened to them was forest laws were imposed on these tribal people. So what are these forest laws? So some forests were classified as reserved forests. So that means when the British people say this is reserved forest, they are not supposed to touch anything in that forest. Okay, so in a way they were driven out of these forests. So they were not allowed to move freely. They were not allowed to practice jhum cultivation or collect fruits or hunt animals. So once a forest was declared as a reserve forest, the tribals lost all their rights that they enjoyed earlier. Okay, so what happens? Obviously, their livelihood was very much affected by these forest laws. Okay, so but there was one problem that the British people faced. So if they drive the people out of forests, then how will they get people to do work in the forests? So what they did was they allowed the people, the tribal people, to live in forests with certain conditions. For example, they should provide labor to the forest department, and they should do works assigned to them. And if they agree to this kind of rules, they would allow them to remain in forests. So in a way, earlier they had all the forests to themselves. Nobody interfered with their lives. They could make very decent living. They could live very happily in the forests. But now they lost most of their traditional rights. So they could not do cultivation freely. They could not move freely. And one more thing was, the Britishers did not like these people to move from one place to another place, because if they move from one place to another place, it is difficult to control them. So they always wanted the tribal people to settle down. They wanted them to obey the laws imposed by the British people, which were always against these tribal people. Okay, so obviously there were so many revolts and so much resistance to the British rule, and that we will study in the next video lesson. So I hope you understood what I covered so far. So we talked about the various tribes in India. So we told you that they depended on shifting cultivation or jhum cultivation, and then some of them actually hunted, and some of them gathered the forest produce, and some of them herded sheep or cattle. Okay, so mostly their life was centered around forests, and when the British got power, so they interfered with the lives of these tribal people also by various restrictions, like forest laws. So tribal people also suffered during the British rule. In our earlier chapter, we talked about how the agricultural people suffered, the farmers. So they had to pay a lot of tax, and they were forced to cultivate indigo. So most of them became very poor, they lost their livelihood, and we have seen what happened. We talked about blue revolution. It is a revolt against indigo cultivation. So likewise, tribals also started revolting, and we'll talk about that in our next lesson. Okay, you please read the textbook. Various points are given, okay, regarding these tribal people. So here we have certain special cases which you can read, okay, and we can discuss these in our Google Meet session also. Okay, so thank you, and in the next video I'll complete the chapter. We'll talk about the remaining part, that is forest laws and the various tribal revolts. Thank you.